Welcome. I'm Carl Misulis. It's a pleasure to be with you here today to talk about loyalty. What is loyalty? How does it help us? And how does it hurt us? I'm a physician, scientist, university professor, and author, and I've been associated with Misulis Group for 21 years. So today, let's consider loyalty as a component of cognitive bias. Yes, that's right. It can actually be a bias that can work against us in addition to working in favor of us. The bottom line is that loyalty is an evolved human trait with both positive and negative features. Well, the history of loyalty dates back to pre-biblical times, in that in ancient writings, loyalty was considered to be giving your trust and giving your powers to an authority or an institution of some sort. Evolutionarily, this dated back to the times when we were small tribes, and there was an evolutionary advantage to us being loyal to our mates, being loyal to our tribes, being loyal to our people. Subsequently, it got to have a change in use, so it was more a devotion to a cause, and that was in the early 1900s, and that is when the concept of loyalty was being leveraged to try to produce actions that people might actually not do if all on their own. So presently, there's debate and disagreement as to what kind of loyalty there is: personal loyalty, national loyalty, social loyalty, political loyalty, which sometimes has taken precedence over some of the others, and inappropriately so. You know, loyalty can be demonstrated even in animals. Dogs, for example, have been not only developed but bred specifically to be more loyal to their masters. So that's the history. What are the positives that it does for us? First is that it gives constant support to an individual or institution. Now, when we are loyal to our partner, we are more likely to stay together and form a cohesive family, help each other, and helps with breeding as well. When we're loyal to our team, that gives us the fact that we can do more as a team than we could individually. Again, that can be good or bad, but that typically loyalty to our team is usually a good thing. There's another element, though, that I want to introduce, and that is loyalty to oneself. What does that mean? That means that we are loyal to our own beliefs, or rather, what we would like to think our beliefs and actions are. So as we are considering our actions, we want to consider, are we loyal to our team? Are we loyal to our family? But are we loyal to our best image of our own behavior and thought processes? So what is the dark side of loyalty? Well, our team may be doing misdeeds. It's not uncommon for teams to get involved in actions that ultimately turn against some of our basic principles. We set a bar pretty high, though, for leaving those principles and deciding to go ahead and participate in the team activity. We need to make that bar very high so that we're more willing to leave the team than to stay and do things that we shouldn't do. Now, with longer membership and closer ties to individuals in that team, then our threshold for leaving, unfortunately, gets higher and higher. Our cognitive assessment is generous to our team. We're more likely to believe what teammates say, especially a team leader. We're also more likely to believe what other members of our team will say about certain topics and certain targets. Loyalty can even make us apologists for our team. So all of these are issues that give us a higher threshold for leaving the team and realizing that our loyalty can not only work for us, but also work against us as well. Now, misplaced loyalty is where our loyalty is used usually by others for nefarious purposes. And this was the 1908 revision in how loyalty was actually applied. This is where we are leveraged to do things we otherwise would not do. For example, in the 1930s and 40s Nazi Germany, good people, educated, intelligent people who otherwise wouldn't think of doing the atrocities they did, actually got to, because of their loyalty to the country and their people, to do actions that they subsequently would regret. Now, following a social commitment can sometimes get out of bounds like this, but it frequently is not that severe. It can be to the point where we infringe on other people's rights, not to the extent of murder, but to the extent of being unfair to our larger team, whether it be our nation or our states or even our planet. When we start to deceive others as part of the work for our teams, that's when we think that we're starting to cross a boundary that we shouldn't cross. Well, what are the solutions? What do we do about this? How do we handle loyalty? Well, first we acknowledge it. I am loyal to my family. I am loyal to my country. I am loyal to the earth's people, and I have priorities for all of those. Consider data as it is presented. Be that scientist. Look at the data to determine whether the solutions and the ideas that our team is putting forth are actually valid. Set the bar pretty high for abandoning loyalty. However, if it looks like we are crossing a threshold at which point our loyalty is being used as a weapon, is doing evil, then we must leave, and if needed, even work against the team that we have joined. So examine our personal positions and behaviors from an external point of view. And this is an ongoing theme that we discuss in the discussion of decision making. Try to look outside of yourself and see, how would I deal with this? We handle loyalty like any other tool. It can be used for good and for evil, and we must use it wisely.